Okay, Malika, thank you, and welcome everyone to Indianapolis, where basketball has always been a way of life. And here in the Hoosier State, that's where the Eastern Conference semifinals resumes. After 2 wild games in New York, home court ruled in games 1 and 2. As we welcome you to NBA Courtside, presented by Pronamel. The Brackets, huge win for Cleveland last night. Huge win for Dallas last night. Denver hoping for the same thing tonight in Minnesota. And the Pacers trying to get in the win column here tonight in Indianapolis. And good evening, everyone. Along with J.J. Redick and Doris Burke, Mike Breen on hand, Lisa Salters with us as well. There's just something about a Knicks playoff series, Knicks and the Pacers, that is just unbelievable. It always has drama, it always has controversy, and it always has great basketball. Let's start with the great basketball, J.J., and start with Jalen Brunson. He's in the starting lineup, and he's also on an historic stretch of basketball.
Well, Jalen Brunson's on a magical run right now, and it feels like he's been on a magical run for the last year and a half, but he continues to defy expectations. A monster second half in game 2, 24 of his 29 points. He's a determined driver, and he embodies the grit, heart, and toughness of this New York Knicks team. When the game is on the line and the Knicks need a bucket, the ball is going to be in Jalen Brunson's hand, and more often than not, this guy delivers.
Of course, he had to leave game 2 because of an injury, but came back. And with more on an injury update, let's check in with Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, Jalen Brunson suffered a right foot injury in the first quarter of game 2 on Wednesday night. As you said, he missed all of the second quarter of that game, and because of the injury, he was listed as questionable for tonight. But he was a full participant at shoot-around this morning, went through an extensive pregame warm-up to test out the foot. The fact that Brunson is a full go tonight, certainly good news for Knicks fans. Take a look at the numbers from game 2, and remember, Brunson played just 8 minutes in the first half. New York was a plus 26 with him on the floor, minus 17 without him. Mike.
All right, Lisa, as for the Indiana Pacers and their wonderful all-star point guard Tyrese Haliburton put up great numbers in game 2, Doris, but obviously not enough to win. What does he and the Pacers have to do to get in the win column?
Well, we always start with him because so much of who the Pacers are defined by who he is. So pace and movement, that's what we think of with this team. Tyrese is at his best when he's being aggressive in 2 ways. 7 threes he knocked down in game 2. He had 22 of his 34 in the first half. Pick and roll, he is dynamic, Mike, the most efficient player in the league in the regular season. But the second half, his instinct is always pass. He took his foot off the gas as a scorer, and they lost the basketball game. Pascal Siakam has yet to break out, and they need to compete better as a team on the defensive and rebounding issues of the game.
Well, Pacers had 2 winnable games in New York, but they're down 0-2. The Knicks are up 2-0, but missing another key player. What happens in game 3? We can't wait to find out.
NBA Courtside on ESPN is presented by new Pronamel Repair Mouthwash. Actively repairs enamel beyond brushing alone.
Jalen Brunson continue this historic stretch. Can Tyrese Haliburton shine again on his home court where the Pacers are 3-0 in this postseason? Knicks and Pacer playoffs back in Indiana. Game 3 just ahead.
The NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN are delivered by Chipotle. Real food for real athletes. Chipotle, for real. And in part by Google Pixel, the only phone engineered by Google.
The mental toughness piece is so important. The ability to get through things.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson experiencing a sore right foot.
That changes things for a head coach in the playoffs right now.
The first half comes to an end. The Knicks trailing by 10.
We are all hoping to get a positive update on Jalen Brunson.
I just knew I had to get my mind in the right place to figure out how I was going to attack the second half.
Jalen Brunson, a modern-day Willis Reed.
So I can do anything, honestly, yeah, I can feel all the energy. It's always I lead by example. Just nothing I really can't handle. Only the strong survive.
Brunson gets to the basket. He's fouled. In pain on the floor.
To be at your best when your best is needed, even when you may not be feeling your best. And that's who he is. A great leader.
The New York Knicks are going to go up 2-0.
We need to get home. We need to play better.
Everything happened for a reason. I'm not really tripping. We got to be better in game 3.
Here we go. It's time for Game 3 between the New York Knickerbockers and the Indiana Pacers in the NBA playoffs. And it's presented by Google Pixel, the conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. They love their basketball here in Indiana, and they're packing in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, a sellout crowd for Game 3. As we look at the starting lineups, and they are brought to you by Modelo. And yes, Jalen Brunson is in the starting lineup, but OG Anunoby is not. A hamstring has him out. Precious Achiuwa's only played 4 of the first 8 playoff games for the Knicks. Gets his first playoff start for the Knicks. He did start one in when he was with the Raptors. Meanwhile, the same starting 5 for Rick Carlisle. They had 2 winnable games in New York, but came up short. But now back here where they won all 3 games on their home floor in the first round against the Milwaukee Bucks. Well, back in the 90s, there really was no better rivalry than the Knicks and the Pacers. Pacer fans couldn't stand the Knicks. Knick fans couldn't stand the Pacers. They haven't played as much as in the postseason as they did back then, but it has still been a terrific rivalry. And JJ, what you expect on a night like this, especially from Indiana, especially the way the first 2 games went, you expect a quick knockout punch attempt from Indiana.
Well, you have the home crowd on your side. Everybody always talks about playing with a sense of urgency. Look, you can't win in the playoffs without playing desperate. You expect a heightened sense of desperation for the Pacers tonight.
And JJ and Doris, for the Knickerbockers, they have to expect a knockout punch coming, and how they deal with that and fight back.
Well, obviously they've got an incredible leader in Jalen Brunson who sets the pace for them, but I'm looking at Precious Achiuwa. You know, you are down your most important defender in OG Anunoby, who is taking almost 5 threes and making 40% of them.
How's your ankle feeling?
I'm all right.
And I know you said that 2-0-2 didn't feel very good. How does it feel right now?
Feels better. Feels better, but we understand we got 2 days and we got another one to get and protect the home court. So, you know, we got to rest up and be ready to go.
Thank you, Tyrese. Congrats on the win. Mike?
All right, Lisa, the Pacers avoid going to a spot where no team has ever recovered from. But boy, did they recover. Down 9 in the 4th quarter. Indiana wins. They stay perfect at home. And this series is now 2 games to 1, with Game 4 coming up on Sunday. It'll be on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. The final score here in Game 3. Pacers 111, the Knicks 106. For our producer, Tim Corrigan, director Mike Schwab, our spectacular ESPN crew. Of course, for Doris, JJ, and Lisa, Mike Green saying good night from Indianapolis. Nuggets and Timberwolves from Minneapolis coming up next. So let's go there with Mark Jones and Tim Legler.